had heard from the street committee, the rich man made plans to fire the manager. He said, unless he could, he said, you go and get your books ready, that is, unless he could present the books and do an audit, finance knows about this, do an audit to prove that what the street committee had said was not true. And so the manager began to think this thing over in between the time when his employee told him he was going to fire me. He started putting stuff together. He said, now look, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my home. There goes my salary. There go my goats and my sheep and my cattle. There go my harem and wives and whatever else he had that comprised his material wealth that allowed him to live a good life. So he started to plot. And he started making plans to look out for himself. So his selfish thoughts drove him to display his dishonest character. He actually, at this time, proved that the street committee was right. Because he did what he had been accused of. He created a scheme to steal even more money from his employer. And so let me just pause for a minute and say that. Now, the street committee's information ain't always wrong. The members can reveal information. They have access to information that months later, in this case, will turn out to be true. I say they're just like the Russian KGB and the FBI and the CIA. Because they can get hold of information that nobody else knows how they got it or where they got it, but in many cases it turns out to be true. And so the manager proved that he was dishonest because he concocted this dishonest scheme that he felt was okay for him. Well, he had poor morals, he had bankrupt character, and so this is what he did. He said, I'm going to figure out a way to live somehow in the midst of my owner, the man decided he was going to fire me. So for some of us, anything is acceptable if it means that the means justify the intended outcome of our situation. The means justifies the end. So the manager started to wheel and deal with the rich man's customers who owed him money. You know, the young folks said he was the baller in the shot caller. He was the one who was on top of the situation, and he didn't plan to lose any of his comfort once he was fired by the employer. So he started calling in folks who owned his boss money, and unknown to the rich man, you see, he cut a deal with each one of them, and cut a deal that they could not refuse. The manager started dispensing financial favors so that when he ended up on the street, they would feel obligated to offer him somewhere to live. And the text tells us it says, so summoning his master's debtors one by one, he asked the first, how much do you owe the master? And he said, well, I owe 100 jugs of oil. He said, sit down right quick, take your bill, and I'll cut it to 50. Now, the rich man knew nothing about this. And so he asked the other, now how much do you owe? He said, well, about 110. So he said, well, sit down right quick and take your bill and make it 80. And his master discovered this, and he commended him. He commended him for his dishonest behavior. He said, because he acted shrewdly. Then he went on to say, for the children of this age are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than are children of light. And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into the eternal home. What does this mean? And his master commended this man, and almost every commentary that I read suggests that this was just shocking, and it was Jesus who was telling this story, you see. But some commentaries call this a very difficult and a very troublesome parable, because on its surface, it appears that Jesus is encouraging his disciples to behave like a crooked manager. But if you look at verses 10 and 12, Jesus reverses that advice. You look at 8, and then you look at 10 and 12, and you'll discover that Jesus really had something else to say. So the manager was shrewd because he knew how to wheel and deal with other folks' money, and he was willing to cheat and do whatever was necessary to make sure he still lived a good life. And he had already said, well, look, I don't know how to dig, and I'm lazy, in other words, I'm too proud to beg. And so he said, so I gotta find an easy way to survive. I got to find an easy way to make some money, so that when this man throws me out, these people will owe me all of these favors. We call that in our vernacular calling in the chips and calling in the debts, you know. That is to say we use our influence and we use our social connections to gain influence over somebody else. And that is exactly what the manager was doing. And so please let me add a kind of disclaimer here. So when I started reading this, now this reading comes from the 4th Sunday lectionary in September. Now, how I got this, I don't know. So Pastor Ross said, well, Mildred, this is on generosity. And I said, well, let me find the text that talks about money. But the more I read the text, I said to myself, well, Mildred, you're a man who deals with the church money every day, and the street committee may be looking at you sideways. The only response I'm going to say, well, you could look at my whole checkbook, and you can look at my 15-year-old car, and you can look at my sometimes thrift store clothes, and it ought to shut them up, except I had to remind myself that the street committee really don't always deal in facts. So I said, well, the people look to your character and your prior behavior, and my common sense said, the street committee girl is judge, jury, and executioner. And they will wheel, so you better wheel and deal with your own few pennies and not your employer's resources. After all, at Central, every year the Finance Committee calls for an annual audit of the church's policies and procedures. And the auditor will find any improprieties and report them to the real committee, the Finance Committee, that is sanctioned by the book of discipline see united under this church. And so the manager presented himself as one who was doing the debtors a favor when he was looking out for himself. But the third thing that I came to mind as I struggled with this text and with this parable was this. I believe that Jesus actually told this story to his disciples and used this situation to teach his disciples a lesson about the values that are necessary to grow the kingdom of God. He really offered this dishonest manager a backhanded compliment to teach his disciples a tough lesson. And we know what a backhanded compliment is. A backhanded compliment, it sounds like a compliment on the surface. But when we go home and think about it, we figure out that somebody has really insulted us. And some people are brutally honest and straightforward, and they will tell you what they think of a situation and what they think of you to your face, straight with no chasing. Other people are more passive aggressive, and they will tell you off, slap you in your face, and it's the next day or week before you realize that the person has said something unkind to you. So this technique is referred to as offering you an insult disguised as a compliment, or offering us praise and criticism all in one sentence. And so in this text what Jesus says, and I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into their eternal home. For the children of this age are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than are the children of light. And so Jesus actually drew a parallel between unbelievers, children of this age, and believers, children of light. So this dishonest manager had behaved shrewdly like the children of this age by participating in this misappropriation of his employer's wealth with people like himself. the people he negotiated the bills with. And in today's time of being discovered, he would have landed in jail with Bernie Madoff, who was sitting in federal prison right now for stealing $69 billion from his clients and living a very lavish lifestyle at their expense. You know, it's a crime to intentionally and illegally use somebody else's money for your own unauthorized purpose. You know that, right? It's a punishable offense, and it involves moral turpitude because it is an act of deceit, as in this case, and dishonesty. So Jesus was really saying to his disciples, behave shrewdly in this world. Look out for yourselves by making friends, and use your wealth towards that end, but for a different reason. Use your righteous behavior with shrewdness. Use your wealth with shrewdness. Earn friends so that you can build up the kingdom of God as children of light while you're in this world. And your reward will be an eternal home with God. So that was the twist. That was the backhanded compliment. When Jesus actually commended the dishonest manager on the one hand, and then gave his disciples a teaching, a lesson, a pedagogical experience on the other hand. And so Christians